You know, in any digital project, it is so easy to just be busy. But is all that activity actually moving the needle? Well, this explainer is all about making a really crucial shift from simply getting things done to creating real, measurable business value. We're going to break down a powerful strategic loop that can completely transform how you and your team work. Okay, so it all starts with understanding this one core difference. On one side, you've got outputs. These are the tangible things we make, like a new piece of software or a requirements doc. They feel like progress. But on the other side are the outcomes, the actual value we're trying to deliver, like boosting sales or having fewer frustrated customers hanging up on you. And that's the trap, right? Thinking that just because you're busy creating outputs, you're automatically going to get the outcomes you want. All right, so here's our game plan for building out this strategy. We're going to kick things off with that common output trap, and then we'll walk through 4 powerful techniques: learning through experiments, really focusing on true outcomes, mapping out the customer's world, and finally, closing that all-important learning loop. Think of it less like a checklist and more like a continuous cycle that just gets smarter and smarter over time. Let's start with a feeling I bet is super familiar to a lot of you. The project is done. It's on time, it's on budget, everyone's high-fiving. But then, nothing really changes for the business. This, right here, is the output trap, mistaking the completion of a task for the achievement of a real goal. And this quote, it just nails that old way of thinking perfectly. Success used to be defined by just delivering a document on time. But as this points out, a flawless document doesn't mean you've built something that anyone actually wants or that creates any value. It was a totally flawed way of looking at success. So, how do we break out of that trap? Well, our first technique is to start thinking like a scientist. Seriously, think back to high school science class. You had a question, you formed a hypothesis, and you ran an experiment to learn something. Well, in complex digital projects where we definitely don't have all the answers up front, that exact same process is our best tool for finding the right way forward. And here's the big mindset shift. In any major project, feeling uncertain isn't a sign you're failing. It's just the reality of the situation. You can't possibly know the perfect solution from day one. So instead of trying to plan for every little thing, we use experiments to learn our way to the right answer. And the great news is, it's not complicated at all. You can follow this simple 3-part recipe. First, what's the capability you're trying to test? Second, what's the specific result you expect to see? And third, and this is absolutely the most critical part, what exact business metric will prove you are right? Okay, let's see that recipe in action. A call center team believes that using biometrics can identify callers. That's the capability. The result they want is better accuracy. And the metric? They'll know they're successful when they identify at least 50% of customers. See how that transforms a vague idea into a concrete, testable experiment? It's super powerful. Now, running experiments is fantastic, but you need a North Star, something to aim for. And that brings us to our second technique, which is really the guiding principle for this whole loop: focusing relentlessly on the business outcome. Okay, this right here, this is the mantra. You should write this on a sticky note and put it on your monitor. For every task, every meeting, every line of code, you have to ask yourself, is this getting us closer to our desired outcome, or are we just creating another output? And this is a huge shift in thinking. We absolutely cannot wait until a project is launched and done to see if it worked. We have to track those key outcome metrics continuously during the project. Are our experiments actually moving the needle? If they're not, we pivot. We learn and adjust in real time, not months down the road when it's way too late. Okay, so we're running experiments to achieve outcomes. But which outcomes matter the most? Technique number 3 gives us the answer. We have to learn to see our business through our customers' eyes. And the best tool for that is a customer journey map. A journey map is so much more than a flowchart. It's really an empathy tool. It breaks down every single step a customer takes to get something done, but it also captures their emotions, their frustrations, all the things that can go wrong, and most importantly, where the opportunities are for us to innovate and make their life dramatically better. And this is where things get really, really powerful. A good journey map forces you to ask some radical questions. Instead of just trying to improve one existing step, you start asking, hey, can we just get rid of this step entirely? When you map out that a customer currently has 4 interactions just to upgrade a service, suddenly the goal of a one-step process seems not just possible but necessary. This is where true innovation is born. So, our final technique is the glue that holds all of this together. We've run experiments, we're focused on outcomes, we've used journey maps to find opportunities, but the job isn't done when you launch. We have to close the loop by continuously monitoring the results. And just like with our hypotheses, there's a simple framework for this. First, define what you're going to watch. Second, build the processes to actually watch it. And third, set up regular checkpoints to get together and discuss what the data is telling you. This turns monitoring from something passive into an active, continuous learning process for the whole team. Let's jump back to our call center team. After they launched their experiment, they were watching that caller ID success rate every single week. And you can see the progress right here. By week 3, boom, they hit their 50% target. This isn't just guesswork, it's data-driven progress toward a clearly defined outcome. But monitoring is about so much more than just hitting your targets. Think of it as your safety net. As we build more and more complex systems, we have to watch for those unintended consequences. Things like data bias or ethical issues that might not show up in our main success metric, but could be really damaging. Monitoring helps us catch these problems proactively before they turn into major disasters. So your monitoring really needs to be balanced. Of course, you track progress toward your outcome, but as you can see here, you also need to be constantly checking your data quality, looking for hidden biases in your process, and thinking about the ethical implications of your work. It's all part of building a system that's not just effective, but also robust and trustworthy. And that brings us full circle. The strategic loop, as you can see, isn't a straight line. It's a dynamic, continuous cycle. Your monitoring efforts are going to reveal new problems and new insights, which in turn spark the ideas for your next experiments. Your customer journey map helps you prioritize which experiments to run, and it all serves that ultimate goal of driving real, tangible business outcomes. So, I want to leave you with a challenge. Forget about your massive to-do list for just a second and think about the value you truly want to create. What is one small, simple outcome over output experiment that your team could run, not next quarter, but next week, to learn something new? Because that's where the real transformation begins.